Hey friends, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiara, this is the Black Diaries. We are back in my kitchen and come join me in baking a fruit cake. Let me show you the recipe that I am following and I will link it down below, but I'm also going off because y'all know I don't listen to recipes too dedicatedly. It's baking, so I'm doing it more so than if I were cooking, but still, I gotta do my own thing, you know? So this recipe is from Our Heritage of Health. It's a 19th century fruitcake recipe, but I am gonna be doing some more contemporary things, I guess. I don't know what is and isn't contemporary. This is such an old food concept, but this is what her final product looked like, and I'm excited to make it. I usually just do my grandma's fruitcake, which is your typical like 1950s housewife type of fruitcake, and it's better than the store-boughts. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll still eat the store-bought stuff, but I will pick some of the stuff out. But like a homemade fruitcake is always going to be better than a store-bought fruitcake, so like don't believe the hype. It's actually a very delicious thing. If you like raisin bread or like any sort of bread with fruit and nuts in it, you will probably like fruitcake, right? Unless you like don't do alcohol, in which case I'll tell you what you can do to substitute for it if you want to make your own. But anyway, let's go over the ingredients that I'm using. Again, because I'm using someone else's recipe, I'm not going to tell you guys the exact measurements unless it's something that I'm changing. So we've got your sugar, butter, flour, or however that song goes. I don't really know Waitress the Musical that much. Here is your, usual trio. I'm using Earth Balance, and one of them's frozen, so I'm going to pop that in the microwave. And then here's the soaked fruit. So the recipe called for citron. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, and I said I was going to look it up before doing this video, and I didn't. So instead of that, I did candied lemon peel because it was still kind of green. So I did candied lemon peel because Google said that was a good substitute, raisins, and currants, which are part of the original recipe, but I did a few less raisins and added some dried cherries because I just felt like there wasn't anything sour. And then I have it soaking in spiced rum. It's supposed to be dark rum or brandy. I don't even know if I like brandy. I don't even think I like dark rum. I did spiced rum because I felt like that's something I can put in my silk eggnog. I don't know. And so that's what I've had that soaking since last night, and I stirred it twice. Probably yesterday afternoon, not last night. And then we've got a flax egg. I just used some store-bought flax meal and then water. I'm gonna add nuts. That's also not in the recipe, but I have, these 20 pecans, so why not? I like nuts in my fruitcake. We got some salt, and then powdered sugar and lemon extract, which are for the glaze that I'm just gonna put on the side. Oh, and nutmeg. It said nutmeg and mace, but I couldn't find any mace, and mace is apparently just nutmeg squared. So there we go. Alright, hopefully that's all fixed. I had a ring light go out on me, but first thing we're going to do is we are going to chop these pecans. Alright, I feel like this is good enough. If it was for other people, I would probably just food process it. So it's all the same size, but I don't mind my stuff being a little bit on the rustic side. So there it is. And I will let you guys know how much of these I use in the end, because I'm just going to see how much room is in the batter, I guess. And then we will go from there. And it looks like my flax egg is gelatinous. So we will move over to my mixer because yo girl believes in technology. Would you guys believe me if I told you that you are sitting in my drying rack right now? Gotta do what you gotta do, right? So here we go. Here's my little, oh, I forgot that I tried to take it out to try to give you guys angles. The things I do for y'all. So here we go. We're gonna start with the dry ingredients. I'm not someone who does the two separate. One thing's got the dry ingredients and one thing's got the wet ingredients, just because that's another bowl that I have to wash. As you can see by the fact that you're sitting in a drying rack, I'm not saying I have the smallest kitchen in the world or anything, but my kitchen is not, oh, I forgot molasses. But my kitchen is not necessarily, you know, doing great on the whole space front. So as few dishes as I have to wash, the better, because I can only fit so many in the drying rack. So here we go. Let's do our flour. This is just some local Pennsylvania flour that we're working with, because during the pandemic there was no flour, and then I went back to work. There's still a pandemic. There's still a pandemic, but I went back to work, and I could afford to not only eat homemade bread. Also, finding flour was tough. I did as much nutmeg as it called for, nutmeg and mace combined. I don't usually love too much nutmeg on things, so hopefully that'll be still a good time. Alright, so there's that. We're going to put in this flax egg. It looks nice and awful. It never looks good. The amount of limbo that I just played with this cord. So we've got this molasses. I know there's like a couple different types of molasses. I don't know. This says blackstrap molasses. I don't really know if it matters. I'm not a real baker, so. Because every time I open it, I'm like, woo! Okay. So, this was the smallest spoon in the world to try to do this with, but here we are. Should I be angling this so you guys can see? I'm afraid I'll spill like I just kind of did. Let's add half the fruit first. This looks like an awful lot. Alright. I keep locking it. I'm so bad at, like, remembering to lock. So, my thing that tells me if, like, I'm gonna die from gas does not like alcohol. I actually don't think you need to add any of this liquid, because putting this in there is enough of this liquid. Everything's so sticky. Alright, here we go. But I think that this actually, like, added all the liquid necessary. Oh, like I said earlier in the video, unless I cut it out, but if you don't want to have nuts soaked in alcohol, I'm trying to not get this all over my hands, soak them in orange juice, or I feel like cranberry juice would also be good. And then they say grape juice, but I feel like grape juice is so sweet, and you should do something that's got a little tarty kick to it. As you can tell, I like tart, unless I cut that out of the video also. But I like tardiness, so I think that if you want to get that feel, then I would do a more tarty juice. We're at like 3 minutes before this comes out of the oven, so we will see if I make it. But for this powdered sugar icing thing, I'm actually going to half it, because I've never done icing on a fruitcake before, so I might not like it, but I actually might like it. Little dollop on there. Let's give it a try. Taste. I'm spilling it everywhere. Taste test this. Nope. Delish. Absolutely delicious. Wouldn't change a thing. Oh, there we go. There's the cake. Alright, so we've got some decaf coffee. Let's take a little sippy sip before we do a little tasty taste. Sufficiently coffee bitterness taste before tasting sweet, delicious dessert. Super duper delicious. Like fruitcake always is, this is more of a dense cake. This is not going to be like your light and fluffy, you know, angel food cake or light and fluffy cake. That's what's popular right now. This is definitely a dense rustic cake and delicious. The nutmeg is not too much. Thank goodness. I was worried. I would like to try it with mace one time. The nuts were a wonderful addition. I have to say, for this particular iteration of fruitcake, the lemon icing is perfect. I know I said I didn't know if I was gonna like it or not. I think it's a necessity. It just adds a brightness to this very dense cake. So it's definitely not the same as your present day super Americanized fruit cake, which is totally fine. We love all fruit cakes. I also love German fruit cakes. That's delicious, but if you don't like one, give them all a try. There are so many to go around. Thank you so much, guys, for spending a couple minutes with me in the kitchen and for baking with me. I hope that you're all having a wonderful holiday season. Tell me in the comments what you're baking this year. I'll also, I think, be baking some gingerbread cookies. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys later. Happy holidays! This really is so good.